Acosta, editor-in-chief of Progressive Grocer, and I'm super excited to be here today with Eric Schoch. He's the EVP and president of retail at NCR, that retail technology leader, NCR, that everybody knows, of course. Eric has decades of experience in driving technology transformation by building and monetizing products, taking them to market and selling them, and providing services to integrate, deploy, and service them. He spent 7 years at Cisco Systems and 11 years at Nortel Networks. And he's going to talk a little bit more about his background in a second. But in December, Eric will be celebrating his 7th year at NCR, which is amazing. So he's here to talk to us today about NCR's vision and strategy when it comes to the future of retail technology in grocery, which is so important right now, as we all know. So Eric, welcome.
Thanks, Gina. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Eric, like I kind of teased there a little bit, tell us a little bit more about your background and your journey to your current role at NCR.
Yeah, no, thanks. You summarized it pretty well. All my career has been in technology, and I've had the pleasure and honor of working in 3 kind of unique segments of technology. When you think about building and monetizing and bringing new technologies to market, having the pleasure of serving our customers, and whether it be helping them with the purchasing decisions, monetizing that for themselves, getting a return on those dollars invested, and managing and curating those relationships over time. And then also on the services side and having responsibility for how you actually deliver services to install, support, integrate those technologies. So really excited to be here. The reason people ask me why I came to NCR from Cisco, and really it was all about market transitions. I found that I really enjoy the change aspect of driving market transitions, particularly in technology. And in 2017, when I joined NCR, it was really at the beginning of a pretty big transition in retail systems technology.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely makes sense. Gosh, 2017 seems so long ago. So long ago. It's amazing.
It's been a whole pandemic ago.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, Eric, so what should grocery retailers be prioritizing now when it comes to investments in technology?
Yeah. So as I said before, back 2017, 2018, the retail store systems landscape, particularly grocers, were undergoing the beginning of market transition. We've all heard the term omni-channel. Well, really, if you break omni-channel down, it's how do I blend both digital and physical experiences together? And how do I start to provide a single ubiquitous experience, whether I'm on a web browser, or whether I'm on an app, or I'm in the store, I'm in an aided checkout, or I'm in a self-checkout, or a mix of all those together, right? And so really the focus, particularly now post-pandemic, as the transition has only accelerated, and it has consumers are really demanding more and more blending of digital physical experiences, or this omni-channel. It's really about helping our customers, particularly grocers, prioritize a holistic and customer-centric approach across those channels. How do we give them more flexibility, more experiences, but those experiences, particularly when you bring them into the store, they have to work, and they have to work at scale. Our customers in grocery, they do not suffer fools.
Right.
You got to make things work at scale, and that's really what we've been focused on is helping our grocery customers bring those new technology experiences together and working at scale, as opposed to deploying kind of architectural islands, which just add to a bigger and growing legacy trap.
So a lot of grocers are dealing with a lot of operational challenges right now, right? So how can the self-service technology solve some of these operational challenges for grocers and also improve the customer experience?
Yeah. So we do know this: the labor shortage is here to stay.
Right.
And we know the staff turnover continues to be remarkably high. So productivity is pretty important. I haven't seen customers say, or grocers say, hey, I need to add a bunch more labor to the store, although they certainly could. It's about how do I redeploy labor within the store to focus on experiences. And so how do I leverage self-service technology to be able to provide customers choice? How do I enable then my in-store labor then to work on other things, whether it be helping customers? That's a novel concept. Whether it be working on inventory, whether it be restocking shelves faster, whether it be cleaning the store, quite frankly. So self-service technology continues to be more and more important to our grocery customers. There's another key stat that I think is important. Customer experience is becoming a really big topic and a big priority. Top brands voice they're investing well over $700 million in customer experience this year.
Wow.
That self-service capability enables grocers to offer choice and convenience that enhances customer experience and allows that labor to be redeployed on more customer experience.
Right, right. So tell us a little bit more about NCR's strategy in regard to self-service and how it's, improving the customer experience and why exactly it's valuable to grocers.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I'd be remiss to say we are celebrating our 20th year this year of being a self-checkout market share leader. And so a shout out and a thanks to all the customers out there that we continue to work with. Thank you for being a strong partner with us. The initial focus that we had in self-checkout years ago was really on efficiency. And we did a lot of work on store design and flow, and we still do. We still work on the fundamentals: store design, software availability, efficiency of that operation. But more and more, we're looking at things like shrink, things like using data and analytics from the transaction data itself, applying AI to that data to help improve store design, self-checkout layout, thinking about shrink in that same regard. We also are thinking about, we're shifting our thinking from efficiency to experience. And that is leading us to think more and more about not just the traditional barcode scanning or weight-based, but how do you turn that into a multi-channel engagement terminal so that we can continue to focus on the basics, but we can also start to enhance the experience, back to the topic we were talking about before, and really focus on personalization, loyalty, and inclusion. And the way we're doing that is we're starting to shift our own next-gen self-checkout to a software as a service-based model.
Yeah, I read about that. I think it was discussed a lot in your investor meeting, and a little bit about this concept of inclusion, right? Inclusivity. So can you tell us a little bit more about this concept of inclusivity and really what it means in the space of self-service?
Yeah. So inclusiveness really extends past purely payment, but payment is important, right? Inclusivity really thinks about all the different types of payments, but also thinks about demographics. So if you just think about payments for a second, whether it's cash, credit, debit, so forth, 50% of shoppers abandon purchase if the preferred payment method is not available in store. And quite frankly, if it's hard to use, you get the same type of abandonment rates. So that alone, just not having the right payment options there for customers, particularly ones that are expecting more and more different types of payment options, can cause grocers to lose out financially. But it also, think about disabilities. And disabilities can go everywhere from color blindness. Like if you're colorblind, you walk up to a terminal and you're having a hard time distinguishing the colors, you may not be able to check out.
Right.
You would just leave if there wasn't something there that could help you that you didn't feel conscientious about. And it extends all the way through, could be hearing, could be sight, it could be somebody in a wheelchair. we need to be able to provide self-checkout for everybody. And that's really what inclusiveness, that's how we think about it as we design our products and our services as we go forward, is how do we make sure that we can leverage this self-service technology for everybody. And that's both a hardware type discussion, a firmware, and a software, more and more intelligent, customer-centric, inclusive set of experiences.
That is a wonderful, wonderful topic. And I haven't heard anybody else talk about that. I'm so glad that you guys are focused on that because it seems like it's a really important space to be focused on. So that's absolutely wonderful. So let's shift a little bit and talk about artificial intelligence, right? Which is the big buzzword. What does AI mean now to the self-service world, and what self-service innovations should retailers be watching out for when it comes to AI?
That is a great question, and this is something I can talk about for a long time. So you're probably going to have to move me along a little bit at some point. Something I'm pretty up about. So, artificial intelligence can extend to a lot of things in self-service. I'm going to walk through several examples very quickly. It can range from computer vision, meaning I have a computer algorithm that is either identifying things you put down that normally you would barcode scan. So items, could be fruit, it could be a diet Dr. Pepper, it could be a Snickers bar, it could be a gallon of milk. You could use computer vision for facial recognition. Now there's all sorts of federal and local standards and regulations that you have to be mindful of, but that technology is available for facial recognition of age verification of items, whether it be maybe tobacco or alcohol. And on product recognition, it's something we've been working for quite some time. You can do everything from, hey, I know what this item is, the computer model knows, and its price, and now it's ready to bag, to it can just give you a list of options. It knows it's a yellow banana, but is it an organic banana or a non-organic? And it gives the user an opportunity to choose which one it is without having to know the PLU and type all that in. For some reason, it didn't get into the computer model.
Right.
When we talk about artificial intelligence, we also think about data. So we talked about computer vision and whether it be facial recognition or item identification. Think about shrink and identifying shrink patterns from the transaction data that is available from all the self-checkout terminals. Right. Think about efficiency. When are the peak times people are using self-checkout? What's the average duration during peak times? What's the average duration during non-peak times? Do you start to have a queue as a result? Now bring in payment options, abandonment rates on payment options, that inclusiveness discussion we were having just a minute ago. Artificial intelligence applied to all that data coming from self-checkout. It can also mean, what's the state of the machine itself? Is there something about to break? Do we need to do proactive maintenance on the unit so that it doesn't go down at some point? Are we about to did somebody jam something in the coin recycler? Never happened in a grocery store, that they haven't caught yet. But we know there's something wrong from the data that's coming from the telemetry from the machines. So artificial intelligence means all those things. It really, the use cases are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay, so artificial intelligence is obviously a big component, let's say, of cashierless checkout, which is, really slowly proliferating in grocery. What are your thoughts on just walkout technology?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, I'd be remiss to say NCR some 100 years ago plus invented the need for a receipt. And today, people still want to have a receipt. They want a proof of purchase. I know I purchased these goods. Here's what I bought. Right. Here's how much I paid for it. Did I get the right price? Did I get the right? Well, one of the key challenges we've seen in the new technology around just walkout is the time it takes to get that receipt. It can take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour because of some of the limitations of the technology. So do we say, oh, okay, there's a big problem with that, we should ignore it? No, we should actually embrace all of the goodness that just walkout technology has brought, all the learnings we've had. around what are the different type of experiences people are looking for? How does that impact inclusiveness? Just Walk Out Technology has actually helped us think about artificial intelligence and computer vision, and allowed us to actually bring some of the new things that we've been launching lately around NCR Halo, which is incorporating computer vision to our current self-checkout. And it's very easy for us now to start to think about bringing multi-signal checkout into grocery. What does that mean? It means barcode scanning is what we do today. We also have weight-based. We also now have computer vision for item identification. We also support RFID. So I can now start to think about a terminal where I'm bringing multiple inputs. It doesn't just have to be barcode scanning. I also now have the infrastructure, if you will, on a platform that allows me to start to apply data and analytics analysis to the transaction data, to the type of experiences that a customer is trying to have at that terminal. And now I can start combining that with loyalty data. If the customer wants to opt in and allow themselves maybe to be recognized on their facial recognition or by keying in their phone number. And now I have this wealth of experiences that I can start to bring to a shopper. So I think it's great that we've seen this Just Walk Out technology come in, a lot of people experimenting, finding uses of it, maybe in slightly derivatives to enhance experiences as we go. I would be remiss to say that, Amazon Fresh is using NCR self-checkout technology in some of their stores. So even Amazon recognizes the need for, providing that experience that scales, and that maybe Just Walk Out maybe isn't ready prime time yet, but there's certainly good things that we've learned from the technology.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so last question. Any concluding thoughts as to what retailers should be on the lookout for in terms of emerging trends or emerging tech trends in grocery?
Yeah, I think we've talked about them all, but let me summarize them. One, you need a platform-based approach. A platform-based approach meaning an open ecosystem, open API. Call it modern. We use the term microservices, but modern software platform that is built on open APIs that allow you to experiment quickly, fail fast, but also do things at scale. Really, really, really important. Of course, artificial intelligence as a key aspect or capability of that platform is very important. So that would be one. Platform-based approach, having artificial intelligence, machine learning, and modern software capabilities. That leads you into adaptable technology platforms. We know from our legacy that stovepipe systems, kind of siloed systems approach to store systems is not going to support this future omni-channel digital physical experience culmination that we all know we're driving towards. Right. It was built for a bygone era. It was built in a much more rigid and we'll say legacy manner. And so having adaptability of anything that you deploy, and what we try to talk to customers about is avoiding those architectural islands. Make sure that you've got that architectural blueprint, understand how it plugs into the platform so that you can experiment with things. If it doesn't work, that's okay. You haven't built this massive new stovepipe sitting there. And then third, we'd advise everybody to be focused on in-store experiences and continuing to blend digital and physical experiences, leveraging technology as that key differentiator, and then picking a partner that has experience of doing that.
Eric, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gina.